Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Iran is getting the crap bombed out of it because of the amount of enriched uranium that they have chosen to hold on to for so long. Israel actually just released this not that long ago, showing the amount of enriched uranium that they have stacked up. We are now on, I don't even know what wave of airstrike this is, like, I don't know, like 20 or 30 probably, but Tehran has been getting lit up. Tabriz has been getting lit up. Natanz has been getting lit up. It seems like every single location around Iran has just constantly been getting its poo-poo pushed in. And I don't think there's going to be any slowing down. Netanyahu came out with a statement just a little bit ago telling Israelis, hey, listen, you're going to have to be prepared for the long haul in this. Like, don't think that you're going to get away with just a regular day or two inside the bunker. It's going to take a minute. Now, this gentleman, we don't know whether or not he's dead. Took you long enough. Yeah, well, you know what? I deserve the ability to have a break, to eat some dinner and things of that nature. Plus, I've got a life. I got things I got to get caught up on. Yeah, we got to make sure that, everything's going good. Now, this gentleman, he is allegedly, he could still be alive. We're not 100% sure. Mohammed Bagheri, he is the chief of staff of all the armed forces, not just the IRGC. And it is rumored that he has been killed in the airstrike. I've seen several people report that Iranian media has said that he has gotten taken out. I've also seen other reports saying that he is in the war room over inside of Iran right now, and that they're preparing to strike Israel, and that every time they're getting ready to do it, it looks like Israel is just turning around and bombing the crap out of them again. But here's a look. I believe this video that I have for you guys, I got a good stack for you guys set up. These are aerial defense systems over top of Tehran that were going off not that long ago. Go, hit, go. Somebody says late night fireworks stream. Who did that? Volk 1410 late night fireworks stream. Yeah, man, you might as well get your popcorn ready because I got some good strikes coming up. Lots of crap's on fire over inside of Iran. I mean, lots of crap. We're going to focus a lot over on Tabriz. It looks like, and I've seen this reported in two different ways. I've seen this reported as ballistic missile base, and I've also seen this one reported as Iran's main oil refinery being lit on fire. Honestly, couldn't tell you which one it is. But what I do know is that that sucker is blazing up, and we're going to continue to get a bunch of bad information on several of these different sites. It's just going to take a lot of time. A lot of satellite confirmation is the way these things tend to go down. Who's your DM? Becoming a true supporter. Good to have you in the house, my friend. A lot of people are saying that Iran was just going to be able to retaliate right back and they're going to get over it. I got a feeling that they're still busy licking their wounds. To give you guys an idea about the destruction on the ground, some more of these images coming out. The first wave of airstrikes that Israel ended up launching over inside of Tehran were targeting IRGC leadership. We're targeting the no BS president of Iran, going after like their top and key leaders. Wow, got crap in my eye right now. Can't even believe that. Anyways, because of that, they ended up striking a couple different apartment complexes that ended up getting tore to the ground. Oh, dear God. Sun Wukong coming in saying that Israel opened up a Middle Eastern deli, but now they're all out of salami, bologna, and pastrami. It's all cooked. Thank God. P.S. I hear that image of the nuclear site in Natanz, and then it kind of cuts off. I think he ran out of words. Yeah, Natanz allegedly is completely and totally destroyed. That's what the word on the street is as it comes out, which I have trouble believing that it's completely been taken out, but it is possible if they would have concentrated a buttload of freaking munitions on it. And I mean, it would take a buttload. Give me one sec. This video is buffering. Here we go. Now it's up and working. So we've got, number one, we've got Iranian defense systems that are going off over the skies of Tehran. And at the same time, we've also got Israeli aircraft that are just buzzing around openly in the daylight as if they don't even give a shit. Somebody said, big pink eye, my guy. Thanks for going online. Yeah. I don't have pink eye, man. There's no pink eye about it. Although I was hanging around a bunch of homeless people and drug addicts and stuff. All right, this is taking place over in the Kermanshah province. Allegedly, this is some of their aerial defense assets or missile production site that they ended up having up in the mountains. Or they're saying it's a missile depot. I've seen this listed as a couple different ways. Either way, this is one hell of a freaking like fire that they got going on up over there. Oh, where is the Iranian aerial defense systems? That's funny that you end up saying that. The Iranian aerial defense systems kind of don't exist. They're using the Russian S-300s, which haven't proven to be very good against F-35s. The F-35s seem to be doing some work. There's also reports out right now that Iran has lost up to 6 fighter jets in air-to-air combat with Israeli fighter jets. Unknown if those reports are actually true at this time. I haven't seen, because typically when stuff like that ends up happening, we saw it come out really quick in Pakistan. Whenever like fighter jets and stuff like that are shot down, you tend to get a lot of people gathering on the ground that go, oh, look, here's these different parts and components. So maybe we'll end up getting those coming out in the near future, but that, as far as I know, hasn't been confirmed yet. Dalton said, I thought Russia gave Iran S-400s. They must suck. Allegedly, Iran gave them S-400s. That was never confirmed. There was one photograph that I saw allegedly of S-400s on the ground over inside of Iran. But again, it was never really confirmed. So you can presume they have the S-400s, but it is known that they have at least S-300s that are on the ground, and those don't fare too well. Bo Williams says, hi, Matt. Do you think Israel sent Saeed? I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, what you're looking at right there is an F-35 flying openly in the daylight over Iran. They're not even trying to hide it. They don't even care. Like, they're just dominating the skies right now. Iran just seems to be completely and totally helpless at this point. No, not the Tomcats. I don't know about, like, Tomcats being out over there. But, yeah, I mean, Israel's just dominating Iran right now. It's kind of almost embarrassing. Here's another video of F-35 just cruising around doing whatever the hell it wants. I mean, like, they're literally just up there in the sky. I'd blow it up. It's this tiny little speck. You know, it's a camera and all that. Maybe you can see a little bit better. There he goes, floating through the sky right up over there. So another F-35 getting spotted over top of Iran. And again, all of this stuff in broad daylight, which is wild. It was funny to me because I was hearing a bunch of experts that tried saying, okay, well, now that this first wave of airstrikes is done, there's not going to be another one until like tomorrow. And then people are like, oh, Israel's bombing them again. Like, no shit, dude, it's not going to stop. This is going to be nonstop for several days in a row. Just throwing that out there. That actually looks like a MiG-29. I don't know about a MiG-29. I thought it was F-35. I could be wrong. Yep, there you go. Just a bunch of Iranians that wake up in the morning and go, oh, everything's on fire. Maybe we're going to have a regime change soon. Sun Moon Kong, Elon said F-35s were useless. Guess not. Yeah, I don't really rely on Elon for his military expertise, not something. If he wants to talk about building spaceships, he wants to talk about, I don't know, all of these great things when it comes to Cybertrucks and cars and electric vehicles. Sure, I'll listen to Elon Musk when it comes down to that. I'll take financial advice from Elon. When it comes down to military strategy and what's actually going to work, I don't necessarily take Elon's advice on that. I suggest you wouldn't either. Sky God coming in, just gifting out another 20 Speak the Truth memberships. Greatly appreciate you, brother. Thank you. So yeah, that area that you were looking at allegedly was over outside of Tehran. And now we're going to go over to Tabriz. Tabriz got hammered hard. For those of you that don't know, Tabriz got hit, I mean, like hard AF. I don't know how else to say this, but Tabriz has been getting hammered. And that's all the way up in the northwestern portion of the country. I'm sitting here kind of tired, a little bit late at night, been staring at the computer too long. You said never go to a planet without trees. Bro, Elon is going to bring his own trees to that planet when he gets there. He's building a freaking family. He's literally, well, I don't even want to say it because I don't want to make accusations towards him. But what I hear is that Elon is just impregnating women in order to build them up, in order to get like his weird family built up to take up over to Mars. I don't know if that's true. Heavy strikes, again, over inside of Tabriz. Here's another look. Tabriz has like this huge ridgeline that's running through it that just keeps getting freaking hammered. Carlton Percy coming in, giving out a donation of $3. Greatly appreciate you, Carlton. All right, let's get over to it. Yep, there you go. More stuff on fire. And that's basically what you're going to see. There's not a lot of videos of bombs and things like that that are actually like caught falling down. I don't think Israel is currently doing any roof knocking over there as we speak. Tabriz, here's another one. Well, you know, I got told this is Tabriz, but it very well could be also, well, here, this is allegedly Tabriz.
و احتمالاً کشته داده اینجا مردم داشتن ولی
Did I see a Captain America shirt? I did. That's a freaking Captain America shirt. Right there. You guys see it? This guy's, look, tell me that's not a Captain America shirt over inside of Iran as all this is going down. Am I the only one that sees that? I can't be the only one that sees this guy wearing a Captain America shirt. Look, I'm also getting told that this video is coming very near the Iraqi border, and that it is possible, it is like some of this crap is going down like very, very close to Iraq. There's also reports of explosions taking place over in Baghdad. I think those reports are false. I checked in with a couple different sources. Didn't hear anything about like U.S. embassy or U.S. military bases being bombed over there. Dakota says, have you heard about Russia shutting off internet in certain areas throughout the country? Do you know anything about that? I do not know anything about Russia shutting off any of their internet. No, I haven't heard about that yet. All I know is that we continue to get things being uploaded. How do you put Israeli flags? Question mark. That doesn't even seem like a coherent statement, so I don't even think I need to answer that one. But yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say there, but look, either way, that guy 1000% had a Captain America shirt on. Here's some more of the carnage and destruction coming out of Tabriz. Zombie Man 762 becoming a true supporter. Welcome to the club, my friend. Yay, more stuff on fire over there. Like I said, Tabriz has been getting hammered pretty hard. Also, remember how I told you guys that the high probability that those drone facilities would end up getting struck? Ended up seeing it. Let me see if I have it real quick that I could pull it up for you guys. If not, it's going to end up being in the stack. I'll just wait for it to roll up. It should be in the stack. But yeah, allegedly one of their main drone production facilities ended up getting the shit bombed out of it as well. So if you are a supporter of Ukraine, go ahead and rejoice, because Russia is about to have less components for the Shahed drones coming their way, i.e. way less aerial drones are going to be flying over at Ukraine in the near future thanks to all of this. The security sources ended up telling the Israeli Defense Force radio the Air Force has carried out at least 5 waves of attack over inside of Iran. 5 waves, man. 5 waves of attack over inside of Iran. That is a buttload, and it's just going to continue. By the time most of you guys wake up in the morning, if you're watching this over from the United States of America, this is still going to be going on. It's not going to go anywhere anytime soon. Jim Knox says, thank you for keeping us updated on things happening in the world. Agree with you on Ukraine and Israel, but not on Trump. Yeah, listen, I don't support everything that Trump does. I really don't. I think the United States should be leading the charge on bombing the shit out of Iran right now. I don't think we should have been sitting around trying to negotiate this long. Hank says, what are the chances of other U.S. bases around the region getting hit and us getting pulled in? So unfortunately, that is a very good possibility while you ask me that question. Coming up here in just a couple minutes, I'm going to show you, it'll come out, but it looks like the Al Udeid Air Base over in Qatar with a question mark on that. I believe that's where I ended up seeing these aircraft fly out of. There's a bunch of basic lift aircraft from the United States and the UK that were spotted leaving over on flight radar, flying out and leaving the area. So if there was ever a sign that the United States is worried that Iran's going to come out and retaliate against the United States, that's a very good one. And it looks like that is a very key military installation for them to be going after. I believe it's the Al Udeid Air Base. I want to say that's the name of it. Either way, I got it coming up here in just a minute. But yeah, it's pretty high probability. Right now, it's rumored that there's going to be a wave of around 6,000 ballistic missiles that Iran is attempting to prepare. Now, the reason I think that we're starting to see a huge focus over on Tabriz, might as well be a good time to grab flight radar and pull that up for you guys as we get that up on the freaking map. Now, if my memory serves me correctly, Tabriz is up in the northwest corner. Let me get this up and over. By the way, Iran shut down all of their airspace. Baghdad or Iraq's airspace has been completely closed down. All of that shut off. Like that's not going to reopen for a long period of time. So, but yeah, Tabriz should be up over in that region over here. And what I believe, okay, is we're seeing this huge concentration up here because there's also like this mountainside up over on the back. Remember I said there's like mountains and ridge lines and things like that. And you can kind of see them out on like the flight radar map as it goes. I believe that is where they ended up storing a bunch of their ballistic missiles in preparation to strike Israel. And what I'm hearing kind of on like the Backs channel type chat is that every time Iran is trying to pull out these ballistic missiles in order to start stacking them up in order to attack Israel, that these Israeli fighter jets are just freaking pounding them as they're getting pulled out of the tunnels. So it doesn't even look like they really have the ability to retaliate right now. They're just continuing to get their crap pushed in. Now they will. There's going to be stuff flying at Israel. Like it's going to happen. And from what I've heard from, I was talking on the phone to a couple folks over inside Israel, a couple folks over here inside the United States, just trying to get a feel for what's going on. And what it sounds like is basically everybody in Israel is being told to shelter in place right now. So they are 1000% expecting retaliation. I think Iran is a large enough country. Israel doesn't have enough aircraft to cover every single thing that ends up coming out of those tunnels that they go and set up. So they're likely to get off, 100, 200 plus of these munitions fired over at Israel. I don't think we're going to see 600 of them like Iran is rumored to be coming out, but it's going to be quite a few. Alaska Democrat, I believe. Sorry for that. Just a question about emojis new. Oh, I'm sorry, man. I'm not look, if you're asking me about emojis, I don't know, dude. I'm not too spun up on them. The Range says, first time here, bro. Subbed. Wish I found the channel sooner. Cheers all. Stay safe and head on a swivel, gang. It's frosty out there, bro. Range, you ain't kidding me, man. I'm trying to tell everybody, like, stay out of public spaces this weekend. I have a huge feeling that there is going to be some sort of an attack on these protests that are taking place, not just in the United States, but around the world. This no king bullshit. It would be a really good idea if I was on the Iranian side of the house to, how do I want to say this, to launch almost like a false flag attack, try to blame it on like right-wing conservative groups over either like the US or the EU, going after some of these protests, knowing full damn well that's the jihadis that are doing it. I think it's a huge probability that they'd be doing something that stupid this weekend. So if that in fact does happen, ladies and gentlemen, just do yourselves a favor and stay the hell out of there. Stay away from all these idiots. There's no need for you to go over there. You just really don't. Now, you want to see a mushroom cloud? Here's a mushroom cloud. Allegedly, this is the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps headquarters that we're about to put up on the screen here. Yeah, how about that for a freaking mushroom cloud? So the IRGC is already lit the hell up. It's just lit up. Bobby Kemp says the disclaimer is not at the top or the bottom of the screen when you play videos, and thank you so much for your hard work and all that you do. I mean, I could probably fix that, but I mean, then it would ruin the videos, right? Normally I end up having the disclaimer on the screen, but I don't know, man. Maybe I took it off for one of the last interviews that I did. It's really annoying. Lavelle Patton, any chance that Iran uses a dirty bomb or goes after civilian targets? Yes, 1000%. And I don't know whether or not, and here's the part, right? Like I talked about Israel going after some of their satellite systems and things like that to make sure that they lose their ability to communicate, they lose their ability to control a lot of these different munitions that they're going to try launching over at Israel. Now, there's other things that more advanced countries have that kind of get away from that, like internal navigation systems that mean it doesn't have to have any sort of up or down link in order to control the munitions as they go. But with the amount of munitions that Iran is expected to fire back at Israel, and if a lot of those capabilities have been taken out, there is a good probability that those suckers are basically going to be like Kentucky windaged at Israel, for lack of better terms. And whether or not they're aiming at civilian structures, there's a high probability that they're going to get hit. One of the things that I heard in between me and my last stream here, like an hour and a half ago in this stream, is that every single doctor in Israel has been put on alert and are getting called into work. So all the hospital staff over inside of Israel, like they are just preparing for a mass casualty event right now. And it's very possible that it actually goes down. Sean F says, so if Israel doesn't possess the capability to destroy the nuclear bunkers, are they not just poking the bear, or are we banking on this bringing Iran to the negotiating table? I think the latter would be delaying the inevitable. Sean, if you want my opinion, I think that there is about to be a regime change over inside of Iran. I've got a video coming up in just a minute of the IRGC going around and telling people to get their butts back in their homes. They don't want people on the streets. There also is reports of some targeted assassinations, not from airdrop munitions, not from a freaking ballistic missile, but literally close contact shots of assassinations that have been going on over inside of Iran. And all of that has been kept on the hush hush. But it sounds like these targeted assassinations, like small arms fire, are taking place against several members of the regime and several members of like their nuclear development program and several other things. Israel has long thought that you can't just go after like these nuclear facilities because it's only going to basically delay it, for a short period of time. And so if they want to actually take out this threat once and for all, which now's the time for them to do it, right? Like when was the last time Israel decided it would be a good idea to launch an airstrike on Iran? So now's the time to do that. So I think that what you're going to see is likely an uprising of some type, way, shape, or form. And whether or not Israel is going to admit that they helped orchestrate it is going to be the question. I mean, maybe in a book 20 years down the road, or maybe a year from now, or maybe after it's actually successful, we'll actually get the real story on that. Kyle Cox said, Matt, if we use a small yield nuclear bunker buster, do you think that Russia will use that as an excuse to use a small yield nukes in Ukraine? No, I don't. I think that would be absolute suicide for Russia. I don't think that's going to happen. Nicholas Payne says, I love Israel. They don't give a single flying flip. I mean, they do, because they've been holding off on these strikes for some time. I mean, they've been trying to appease the United States. They've been trying to appease the United States under Biden, and they've been doing the same dang thing under Trump until finally they just came out and said, you know what, we're not doing this anymore. We're attacking Iran. And then, the end result is what you have up on your screen here, where they're going after and blasting the shit out of them. Now, the question is whether or not they're going to be capable of taking out all of that enriched uranium. And I don't think they are. I think that a lot of these places are dug way too deep under the ground. It's great to see things like this happening on the surface. It's great to see some of their ballistic missiles that are being struck on their way out of these bunkers. But the reality is that you have some of these places that are dug, I mean, like 100 plus meters into like hard granite. And there's no nuclear, no bunker buster that I'm aware of that's going to be able to push through all that granite and actually affect those facilities. And so what they have to do is they have to go after, I mean, they got to do some old school tradecraft shit. They got to go over, they got to start taking out all of those other people. Hopefully they end up having a regime change, and then you can count on that. But here's the thing. If those U.S. bases do and actually get targeted, and again, that retaliatory attack is supposed to take place here within the next couple of hours. My ass is going to bed after this. But that retaliatory attack is supposed to take place within the next couple of hours, but Israel's keeping them back on their toes. It's only a matter of time, though, before Iran actually licks their wounds and gets their craps together and figures it out and actually starts launching stuff. Now, if some of those launches, which inevitably will come, all right, if some of those launches end up targeting U.S. military installations around the Middle East, there is a very high probability that the U.S. is going to retaliate. That retaliatory strike, you bet your butt we are going to do our absolute best to take out as much crap as humanly possible. The heavy water facility has been destroyed. That is correct. The heavy water facility has been reported as being destroyed. This is the drone production facility in Tabriz. Drone production facility in Tabriz. So all you Ukraine freaking cheer honors, you guys are going to love this. Drone production facility in Tabriz. I told you guys it was going to happen. I told you it was going to get taken out, and boom, there it is for you. Yeah, somebody said that they might go after the U.S. carriers. So USS Carl Vinson. There we go. USS Carl Vinson is kind of like off the shore of Oman, kind of like as you're leading into the, what is it, the Arabian Sea or the Persian Gulf. Yeah, I'm gonna go pull it up on the map here and take a look at it. But it's kind of been parked like right outside of there. It is well within their striking range. The last I checked, I just checked the update on the map for that thing like 2 days ago, a day or 2 days ago. So it's likely over there teetering around those waters. Iran shouldn't have done, or Israel shouldn't have done that. Jonathan, why don't you think Israel should have done that? I'm very curious why. Because Israel's other option is just kind of like sit back and wait for what? Iran to strike it. I don't think that would have been very wise. Here is the IRGC missile site over inside of Tabriz. This is yet another one that has reportedly been struck. You can see this one is a little bit different than the last one that I showed you. That was kind of like parked up on the ridgeline. But that is one hell of a freaking cloud, man. And so they are going after all of the heavy munitions that Iran has. It's going to be kind of interesting to see what type of response Iran is actually going to have, or what they're going to be capable of after these first couple hours of strikes, because it seems like Israel is just systematically ripping them apart. Reaper 11 says, do you think Israel will use nukes if Iran's counterstrikes are bad enough? Reaper, I'll challenge you on one more, buddy. I will say there is still a probability that Iran has a nuclear weapon. There is a very high probability. Well, I would say very high. You can throw it 50-50, 60-40, somewhere in there, that Iran has already developed a nuclear weapon and it's loaded on a freaking, ballistic missile as we speak. And then the question is going to be is, would Iran actually launch that sucker? And by the way it looks about the regime getting ripped apart, yeah, I think they will. If they have it, you bet your sweet freaking pickle that sucker is going to end up getting launched. And likely what they'll end up doing is they'll have this wave of ballistic missiles and drones and shit and cruise missiles that they're shoot over at Israel and try to sneak it in there randomly. I mean, that's the best that you can do. So you're looking at about a 10-minute flight time. I actually have these set up. Jack Ray coming in, dropping out, and gifting 5 Speak the Truth memberships. Greatly appreciate you. So for their standard cruise missile, you're looking at about a 40-minute flight time from Iran. For their ballistic missiles, their medium-range ballistic missiles, you're looking at about 7 to 10 minutes. Same thing for their ICBMs. You're looking at about 10 minutes flight time between Iran and Israel. Their drones take hours to get there if they were going to launch those. So if Iran ends up doing what they did last year, which I don't think they will, I think they're just going to try to squeeze off everything they can because it looks like they're just cruising around in panic mode. You're just going to see a freaking wave of ballistic missiles that are going to, like, they're just going to open up with the kitchen sink because that's really all they can do at this point. Oh, that's interesting. Jonathan Knox says Iran has 100% had ballistic missiles for years. Get real. I don't know about for years, man. We've had a pretty close watch on all of their, how do I want to say this? We've had a pretty close watch on all of their uranium enrichment and everything else, but who knows, man? They've got that stuff anchored down in the ground. This is Tabriz again. This is another missile. This one allegedly is a missile production site that ended up getting struck. There you can see that ridgeline I was talking about in the background where a lot of those things are rumored to have been stored. So it, it makes a little bit more sense why they're going to end up putting them where they put them because it's not that far away. Jedediah coming in. He says, I'm late to the party, but I would bet my life savings this is followed by a planned uprising and the Iranians take back their country. Oh, buddy, I wish I could put out right now what I heard. Dude, yeah, I think there is going to be an uprising, and I think they're going to get some assistance from somewhere. I believe that's going to happen. I'm with you, Jedediah. That's 1,000%. That's going to be a thing. Iran has ballistic, but not proper ICBMs yet. Well, North Korea came out and said that they're going to be assisting Iran. And North Korea has been providing Iran with ballistic missile capabilities for years now. And so it is possible that they do have them hidden somewhere, but I do feel like that's something that would have been leaked out. The only reason I say that is because Iran hasn't been looked too favorably upon in the last couple of years by the local population. So all like, I don't know if it's 50, 60, 70%. I mean, you know, you always get these weird mixed numbers. And the only place I end up getting these numbers from, because again, it's Iran, right? Or the Iranian regime. But, you know, what the locals are claiming and what Iranian Americans are claiming, Iranian Canadians that I've talked to, right? People that have since migrated, got the hell out of that freaking regime and came back to the US or went over, was that all of these people are really pissed off and that it is prime time for a regime change over there. Warlord Soar, as a spec op, we recreate countries. That is correct. We decide what the hell that country's future is going to be, and that is what is freaking beautiful right now. You want to see another awesome shot at Tabriz? Here you go. I just want you to imagine waking up in your home country and going for a ride and having another country just dominate you to that freaking extent, and how like just freaking terrifying this guy be. That's tragic. Jumps in, becoming a true supporter. Good to have you on board, bud. Good to have you on board. So yeah, Tabriz has been getting hammered all across. Like Israel has focused a lot of their freaking air support over there. And I got a feeling it's because Iran was trying or attempting to at least move their ballistic missiles into place and get it up over in there. Now, I told you guys Natanz ended up getting struck. I think Israel actually came out and said that it ended up getting struck. Rumor is that it got completely and totally destroyed. Here you go. Here's a video of Natanz in the daylight. It does not look completely destroyed to me, even if as I put this first image up on the screen. And again, this is under daylight, but it's been relentlessly getting bombed. If you look right through these two berms right here, you can see plenty of standing buildings, even though you do have black smoke and stuff coming from there. Doesn't mean it's not decommissioned. Allegedly, the IAEA came out and said that it was completely and totally destroyed.
بسیار بسیار مؤثر هست که یکی از اونها در خلال صحبت شما تصاویر نتنز رو هم بینندگان زنده دارن مشاهده میکنن و دود ناشی از انفجاری که به نظر میرسه دقایقی پیش اتفاق افتاده. خب مثلا ما در حوزه نتنز، خب طبعا نتنز یک مرکز غنیسازی هست که روی سطح زمین هست. بنابراین رژیم به راحتی آمده و اقدام علیه اون انجام داده و همین موضوع سبب شد که تهدیدهای مکرری که شد بسیار بسیار مؤثر هست که یکی از اونها در خلال صحبت شما تصاویر نتنز رو هم بینندگان زنده.
Dude, I don't even know what they're saying. I have no idea, but that's Natanz. Sun Wukong, Iranian regime change, De Oppresso Liber, and Spiritus Invictus. Hell yeah, brother. Recon Drone coming in with 20. He says, stay alert, folks. This is getting real. USA, USA. Yeah, I am 100% expecting some type of false flag attack, and hopefully the Bureau's on their freaking A game and is able to shut that shit down. Sean F says, opinion on Russia getting involved due to weapons manufacturing they rely on, possibly China. I feel like the downfall of the Iranian regime would lead to more extremist groups. You're absolutely right, Sean, when it comes down to the extremist groups. And this is one of the reasons that Russia has been involved so heavily. This is one of the reasons that Russia has gone over there and set it up. But I also don't think, and I talked with Nate about this a couple times on the show, Nate Vance, for those of you guys that don't know, talked with him a couple times about this on the show. We don't think that Russia really wants a nuclear armed Iran. I don't think any Western country really wants a nuclear armed Iran. It just doesn't make sense. But the problem is all of the, like the amount of freaking drones that they end up getting from Iran and how heavily they've been employed in the theater inside over in Ukraine. And I don't think it would be wise for Russia to get into it right now. I think they got enough on their plate that they have to worry about, and that they're pretty heavily involved over inside of Ukraine. And so it might have been some good timing from the U.S. It could have been one of those like strategic delays, wait for Russia to get involved if there was some word something like that would happen. But they're pretty heavily involved right now, and they called upon more North Koreans to go over there and help them out. So I don't really think they're in a position to retaliate or do a damn thing right now. Hell, even when they try to launch ballistic missiles, they end up failing, right? So I don't know. I don't think I don't think Russia's going to do a damn thing about it other than some really harsh words. They've got enough crap to worry about. Here's Natanz after the first strike. You can just see that sucker is ablaze, not doing so good. Lavelle Patton coming in. He says the Ayatollah better hide. His days are numbered. He is in hiding, and I heard a rumor of where he's hiding. And if he's hiding where I heard he's hiding, I don't think there is going to be an airstrike on his butt. And that kind of sucks, man, to be perfectly honest with you. That kind of sucks. Teferi says, don't forget they can fit a... Blah. Heartburn. Teferi says, don't forget they can fit a nuke into a car. Muslims with nuke equals glassed plus condos built. They can't be trusted to use them defensively. No, they're not going to use them defensively. And yeah, while you can fit one into a car, all right, you can definitely fit one into the car. Their ability to deliver that car to the intended target is the very real problem. And I think this is where Iran is having a lot of its issues right now. I think that's why we're seeing a lot of these really effective strikes that are taking place over there, is because you got so many people pissed off at the Iranian regime. They took it too far. And so a lot of the intelligence reporting that's coming out of there are likely from just a bunch of pissed off Iranians that don't want the Ayatollah in charge. And they're leaking a bunch of intel over to Mossad in the United States, who is promptly taking care of their butts. I ended up telling you that the regime was like running through Iran, telling everybody to get their butts back in their homes. Well, here you go. So somebody asked, what do you think the odds are? Excuse me, not somebody. Professor Backlash, maybe, it says, what do you think? What are the odds that some of these targeted strikes are being coordinated from the ground? High. It's just probably not the way you think it. And I'm not going to go around giving away some secrets. Christian Wizrock says, sucks that all of this unrest is happening at the worst time. I was protesting, as is my right, but I left when idiots started violent BS. We might not agree on everything, but I love this channel and all the hard work you do. Dude, Christian, I appreciate that. Yeah, I mean, it's your right to freaking protest. If you want to protest, dude, protest. I could give two shits less. I just ask that you don't burn shit down. That's all I ask. And if you could refrain from burning the U.S. flag, I'd greatly appreciate it. West Coast Gaming jumping in, becoming a true supporter. Good to have you in the house, along with Henry K. Volk 410. Iran must really want to be like the U.S. Can't tell the difference between their country and California. Yeah, that's freaking sad, man. Sean F. Can't take Russians' incompetence for granted. They still have the capability, and I agree with you there. I've said it before. You throw a dart enough times, you're bound to hit the bullseye, and all it's going to take is one good whack, and that doesn't just go for the Russians. It also goes for the Iranians. All it's going to take for them is to sneak one ballistic missile with a dang nuclear warhead on it, and we're going to be in a completely different freaking ball game. Thunder Chasers coming in with $4.99, just gifting out random freaking doll hairs. All right, let me go ahead and get this next one up on the screen. Oh, this is the one that I actually had up earlier. Yep, over by the Iraqi border. If you missed it, we're about to see Captain America. That is a Captain America shirt. I was right. 100% that's a Captain America shirt, man. I've got that sucker on the big screen over here. That bro is wearing a Captain America shirt, dude. 1000% Captain America shirt. Holy crap. And there's one more thing I want to point out to you at the beginning of this video. God, thank God I spotted that Captain. That just made my night, man. That made all of this video watching well worth it. Tell you what, man. This guy. Hold on, where is he? Watch this little like fairy looking Iranian guy running up and jumping over that. Like, we all laugh at America and we laugh at how soft our military and stuff like that's getting, but you can't tell me this isn't one of like the most limp-wristed freaking like Middle Easterners you've ever seen. Look at him like guarding his little face as he goes and jumps like as he goes and he runs away. Oh, the Israelis are bombing me, the Jews. And Captain America all at the same time. That is probably the best clip that actually ended up coming out. Iran just launched drones. Well, FML. Well, those drones are going to take a couple hours to get over to Israel, and I promise you the vast majority of them are going to get shot out of the sky. I've also seen several reports already. Let's go over here to Flight Radar real quick. I've also seen several reports already that Iran has launch ballistic missiles and everything else. So even if you're seeing reports of those drones being launched, just be cautious of some of that stuff. I forgot my message. Iran has launched 100 drones. Okay. Yeah. All 100 of those are likely to get shot out of the damn sky before they go anywhere. And if that's what they've got is just a couple drones, yeah, that's, I mean, that's not it, man. That's not nearly enough. You better up those numbers up. Those are rookie numbers right now. Rebecca Ryba says, holy snipes, you're live, bud? The world must be blowing up if Matt's up and streaming in the late PMs. I appreciate you, man. Yeah, Rebecca, the world is blowing up. Well, not the world. Iran's blowing up. That's for dang sure. Lavelle says, this can be Prince Ferdinand's moment in history. Yeah, we'll see about that, man. I don't think anybody's going to really step up on this entire like world stage. It's just not going to happen. It's just not. I think everybody's just going to kind of like sit back. Yeah, you can call it probing. You can call it a lot of different things. Let me go see if I can't find those reports of those drones coming out real quick as you guys are sitting there. I appreciate you guys jumping back in here on this evening. I figured I'd give you guys a little bit of update of what's going on. We kind of had to let the situation cool off to get a full, real glimpse of what was taking place. Let me go over here and check on some other stuff real quick. Make sure that I'm not missing anything. Yep. Hold on, let me grab this. Ooh, shit. Oh, that's awesome, dude. That's sick. You guys got to see this. Hold on. This video you're going to love. This is This is the Natanz nuclear facility getting bombed. I kind of just want to let this one repeat for a quick sec. I'm just going to go ahead and do that because that's just a good video.
کجا بود؟ زدن چه دیدی؟
All right, looks like Iran may have possibly actually launched some damn drones. Freaking Iran, man. Iran and their drones. Iran and their drones. Southern Iraq. Man, if only it would take a couple hours for that drone to fly between Iran and Israel. And if only, like, you know what that is? That is like a short little freaking like gun run for some freaking fighter jet on its way back to Israel that's just going to get diverted. Those guys have been just dropping bombs, but I guarantee you they have enough guns on freaking platform to just turn around and just shoot those dang things on the sky as they're on their way back. That's just a little bit of extra fun that they're going to have. Yeah. I don't see this turning out good for those drones. I don't think they're going to make it. I could well be wrong, but it just doesn't seem that way at all. Oh, that's interesting. Iranians are over hoarding gasoline now because they're not afraid that any of that's going to come out. Other than that, I think that Iran is just going to continue to get hammered. Israel is going to be well set. If it's just a wave of 100 drones that they're launching, they're just going to get shot down. That's Tragic says, may have missed it, but I haven't seen a pants check since the first stream. You son of a bitch. I'm wearing pants. I promise. My pants are on. The camera isn't cut out specifically to make sure it goes level with the desktop. My pants are on. Tafuri says, no sympathy. Saudi Arabia and Israel have a fine relationship. Turns out official policy being first the Saturday people isn't great for diplomacy. Yeah, no kidding. Aussie Mick, appreciate you coming in and giving out those 5 memberships, my friend. Oh my God. Yeah, I mean, those drones, those aren't going to go very far. Ballistic missiles is something that we really need to watch out for. Desk pop, no desk pops, man. Come on, dude. No desk pops, bro. I'm good. Desk pops. Nobody does desk pops. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call it an evening. It's my second stream for the night. Been streaming about 3-4 hours today, so my brain's a little bit fried. It's a lot of stuff to take in. I'm going to go ahead and jump off. If for some reason something does end up going down, I'll get it to you in the morning. Promise you. Unless I end up getting a bunch of freaking phone calls from the Israelis saying shit's blowing up. And then in that case, you're going to see me go live yet again, probably here in the next couple hours, but I doubt it's going to happen. If it does happen, Iran's going to launch a big wave of ballistic missiles, but it looks like every time they try to set up those ballistic missiles, Israel's just pummeling them the moment they rip them out of the tunnels. So they're going to have to be pretty quick about it. I don't know how else to say that. So we'll see how it goes down. All right, you want a pants check before I go? Fine. Signing off. Same pants I was wearing earlier, ladies and gentlemen. Same pants. Why do some non-nuclear explosions mushroom cloud? It's because of the heat and all of the force and shit like that that's coming off of it. It's just the way it goes. I've actually done it with C4, believe it or not. YZ Yuzu Suzy came in gifting that. I'm sorry, sir, or ma'am, if I mispronounced your name. I just don't know, but thank you for gifting out those 5 memberships. Matt Wami. I can't just imagine an Iranian Homer Simpson heading into work at a nuclear plant and seeing it get bombed. Doe! I don't even think they say doe. I think those guys are actually the ones that are feeding the intel to Israel. I would bet you that a lot of those guys are basically getting their lives threatened to work at those plants. I don't think that they really, I think that most of them, drones. I think that most of them know that, like, this would be the inevitable outcome. It would be kind of stupid not to believe that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to see you guys tomorrow morning. These airstrikes are going to continue all throughout the night. Iran's going to continue to try to retaliate all throughout the night. Natanz is getting the shit hammered out of it. So is a lot of other places. IRGC's leadership's been cut off. President, still no confirmation on his death yet, if that in fact happens. So we'll see how that goes. Until tomorrow morning, ladies and gentlemen, peace, love, happiness.